Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to set up your X32 producer, compact, or full size to work with your DAW and record and do what you need to do. So I'm showing you a picture because of my setup. It's difficult to get to the back of my console. So right now I have plugged in a USB 2.0 right here on this slot, which is in the back of my console as well, going into my computer, and I have my speaker plugged into output 1. And I have a microphone plugged into input 1. All right, and you'll see, check, hey, 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 hey. That's me talking into that microphone. And now we're gonna get set up, and this is gonna work with Mac or Windows. I first wanna show you guys where to get your drivers, which is gonna be important, or else you cannot record onto your computer. So first you'll wanna just search X32 drivers. Right here, the first one that comes down is the Behringer website. This will also be for M32 as well. You can find the drivers this way. And this will be for your Mac, XUF USB driver, and then here's your XUSB Windows driver for Windows, of course. Once you download this, install this, restart your computer, and then when you plug in into that USB, your computer will recognize the Behringer device as a sound card, which is the most important. Next thing you're going to want to do is set up your DAW. So I'm using Cubase, but this will work as long as you guys know how to change your sound card. It's the same thing for everything. For me, it is going to studio, setup, and we go to VST audio system, and right here is my XUSB audio driver, which is the X32. And I can change this if I wanted to, but I'm using the X32 today, so we're gonna stay with that. All right, next you're gonna wanna create an input. And you're going to want to make sure that on whatever DAW that you use, you want to make sure that you create your inputs based on the inputs and outputs of the device you're using, the sound card. So for me, I know that F5 is it's not F5, it's F4 is the shortcut. And you'll see that I have my buses here, and I made my outputs out 1, which I said I plugged my XLR into the speaker. And output 2 would be the right side, but for this test, it's not necessary. You'll see that the audio device is my XUSB, and then inputs, I made a stereo in, left, right, channels 1 and 2. 1 is where my mic is plugged in, just so you guys see how the routing is being done within your DAW. You're gonna wanna make sure you do all these steps. Very simple in every DAW. If you're using a different DAW, then just Google search how to do that. It's really quick, really simple. All right, next, we're gonna come to the X32. And at first, you'll go to your routing page here, which on my console is on the left-hand side, for the other consoles on the right, and you're gonna see that you have your inputs on your home side as local 1 through 8, 9 through 16, and you want to make sure that you have it as set as this, because it's saying, hey, I'm controlling the preamp on channel 1 locally, which is the local inputs on the back. If you do something else, then you're not going to be controlling that input, and then this input will not end up going to your DAW. So you want to make sure you're just on local 1 through 8, 9 through 16. If you have a full X32 size, these ones over here will be already on the locals as well. I just don't have 32 inputs. So next, you're going to want to go out. Outputs do not matter in this case. Aux outs don't matter. You're going to want to go to your card out. And I want to explain this because it's kind of confusing how Behringer has set this up. The card output, which it shows is the USB card. The card output is talking about what inputs you're taking from your console to the output of that card. So local 1 through 8 is saying the local 1 input of the console is going to go out of the X32 USB card. And then 2, 3, so on and so forth. So if you had this set to AES-A or something, well, if you are not using AES-50A, then nothing's going to go outputting to that card to your DAW. It's just a signal flow type of thing. I don't know why it's kind of backwards, but that's how they did it. And then the last thing you're going to want to do if you're using the outputs of your X32, so you have an XLR plugged into a speaker as I do, then you're going to want to go to your XLR out. This is all within the routing page. XLR out is your last page, and you're going to want to choose card 1 through 4 or whatever outputs you're using. So what this is saying is out of that card, you're going to take an XLR out from the console, go to the card, and the card is then going to your DAW. And I've chosen output 1 that I'm plugged into, and as long as I have card 1 through 4, now it's gonna play back over here out of my speakers when I press play. So next is to get your microphone plugged in. I plugged it into input 1, as you see, and you're going to want to make sure you turn your gain up to appropriate volume. It starts off, you'll see the gain is here, just right above the channel strip. It started off really low, and you'll see as I talk into the mic, it's so low, it might not even record. You can see my levels here. So make sure you gain that up appropriately. Each mic has a different gain structure. This one around here is fine for this test. Hey, 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 as you can see. And now next, like I said, we'll make a track input. I called it mic 1, and I know it's hard to see because it's not really, there it is, focusing in now. So here's my input is mono in 1. It's going to my stereo out, which would be up here. But what's important is that mono in 1 means I've chosen XLR1 on the X32. And you'll see when I record here, which I'll do now. Test, test, 1, 2, 1, 2. And you see there's a waveform. And then we'll play it back, and it's going to come out of card 1 through 4, which I plugged in my speakers as 1 is going to the left side, which is right here. And if you remember, we did all of our routing within the DAW. And just as a refresher, so you guys can see the process, out of my output bus, output 1 is the left side. So I made outputs 1 and 2 on the X32, my left and right. And now we're going to press play, and we'll hear it. Test, test, 1, 2, 1, 2. So that's how you do a quick setup of your X32 going into your DAW. And if you want to record all the channels, well, you're going to have to make 32 channel tracks. Make sure that each one is going to the appropriate input. So if I made another track, and just so you guys can see, I want to make sure you get all the information you need. It's going to ask me audio inputs, mono in 1. No, the next one will be mono in 2. And so on and so forth. I'll name it, you know, whatever. Add the track. Now you'll see here, it just popped up. And on the left-hand side right there, it says mono in 2, meaning that is XLR2. And if you're recording a whole band, you do all 32 of these, and you'll be set up and ready to go. And then also for your mix buses, auxes, and all that stuff, if you need to do that for your band, your musicians, they each need a different mix. Well, then make some outputs in your DAW, and then you would go back to that routing page in the DAW that I showed you, and just make sure you make, you know, more outputs, which you can see here. Make some more outputs here, add some buses, and then you can make them into different mixes from different XLR ports, and then boom, you come out of the XLRs from the X32, and you got yourself some different mixes. That's the quick way to set this up. Thanks for watching, guys. If you liked it, please subscribe. Thank you.